All right, welcome back to the 2023 PDGA Master World Championships in Flagstaff, Arizona, presented by MVP. This is the second Masters Major of the year from the PDGA. With the Tim Selensky's up in Oregon, players seeing a lot of West Coast here this year for the majors. Look at our leaderboard. Chris Smith, solo first place at 8 under, shooting 1 under through the front 9. And then we got a tie of second there with Mike Moser, Mike Convers, plus Brian, who's on the chase card chasing him up. My name's Stephen Wiss, and I'm joined by Steve Boylan.
I'm happy to be here as a player and a commentator. So let's get right into the second half of round 2.
Ron shooting the hot front 9 for our 4 players, 3 under. Going in the hole 10, a long par 3 at 426 feet. Downhill, really navigating through these trees to this open area, wide open green. A lot of opportunity for some ground play if you can get through there.
What's unique about this hole is it really brings the power lefty or power forehands into play. If you have a great touch on an anhyzer, you don't need a big driver disc. You can get down there sometimes with the mid-range. Ron puts one out there nice. He gets out in the open, but he's kind of faded left on him a little bit there toward the end. So I know you wish it would have held. Rob Bainbridge comes up next. He's lining up.
He's been throwing straight at all these baskets and nothing different there. Besides being low, got a good forward kick though off that ground, good skip. Chris finally getting to use his forehand again.
Again, his power forehand, you do want to throw it low. If you can do that. You can see he's disappointed with how high he got that. Knew he was going to get some cabbage there, so he's got some work to do.
Mike had a line on it, just a little low too, and they got caught right on the edge of that slope there.
Now we're going to be able to see some scramblability here. That was beautiful from Chris. I think it was Chris. Yeah, it looked like it was Chris. And then, of course, Robert's coming up here next. Robert's got a pretty clean look at it. Yeah, he got caught up on the tree on the right a little bit. Maybe his footing was a little bit off. The footing here, you could look like you have a clean look at things, and your footing may be set between some rocks or some branches, or some logs or something.
Mike slides in there now.
Mike slides it up there real nice. So. Ron's got this look, and man, he hits this. What is that, 80 feet?
Oh, easily. It's more, yeah.
So he's pretty excited about that, and he's pumped. Man, so the interesting.
He was all over that.
He's all over it. An interesting stat about Mr. Convers there. He is probably the oldest person to win an A tier in the MPO division. He did it last year at the age of 60. So I know he's playing MP50 this year. He's won 3 MP50 titles, Grandmaster titles as a world champ. He's going for his 4th now. So it's pretty exciting to see him 4 under through 10 holes.
Ron with the huge throw-in was one of 3 birdies on the day. John Thompson, Tim Systema.
Yes, Tim Systema. I actually got a pleasure of playing with him yesterday, so that was pretty sweet.
Hole 11, 570-foot par 4. This again, you're throwing through this little valley. You need to land right around where this player is at, and then you're gonna throw back up towards the basket. It's a shot placement on your drive is key to give yourself a look. If you're too short, you got the hill in the way still, and if you push it too far, there's trees and that slope on the right side of the basket come into play.
There's a lot of players when they're out there playing this, they're just taking an anhyzer route and trying to push it as far as they possibly can, letting it fade out a little bit left. So looks like Ron's taking that approach to it a little bit. he caught some cabbage, but he's going to be able to have a decent look at it. Hopefully you can see the basket. It is kind of tight if you're early left. It's kind of tight and hard to see the target from those locations. Chris gets out there and
good. He kicked off the first tree to keep him going.
He kicks off a similar tree and just gets that forward momentum that just carried him far enough up there.
That second tree he hit is actually right on the corner there. And it's not a bad spot to be at the base of that tree.
Ron gets caught up in that pine tree just really right. Mike get caught up in that. It's like Robert laces forward. Oh, that's pretty. That's going to work out just the way.
Right there next to Chris, too. Yeah, right on the corner. They're both going to have some really good shots at it. You can see the basket at the top of the screen just over the hill. So Mike's got to throw something that's going to go up steeply to get over that hill. And he's going to be left of the pin there, but he's down the fairway.
The terrain here is the one that kind of holds the target hostage. As you know, you don't have a whole lot of trees, but you have some terrain here you have to deal with going up the hill, and you got these, of course, the rocks and elevation change.
Robert with a great drive. Leaked it a little right, held on to it a little bit. This is playing right into Chris's game here.
Chris loves this forehand. He's got a nice touch on it. Let's see how close he can get with this. Oh, he slides it right up there.
That's suspect. He uses a lot for those up shots, forehand up shots.
Mike gives it a go, but knows he wants to leave it close if he misses, and boy, he does that. So he does. All he has is to tap in. Ron wanted that one. He wanted to continue this birdie trend, so he's a little disappointed. Walks off there, and Robert's going to come up here and see how his putt is. Man, looks like it just fell out of the sky, didn't it?
Yeah, just short. And Chris, the drop in 3 for this hole.
There were 22 birdies on this hole. There's 144 players or something like that. There's a large MP50 crew, so 22 birdies is about 15% of the field birdied this. Probably, it didn't play too much over par. Actually played under par at 3.83. So this could be a missed opportunity for those who didn't get the birdie.
Heading into one of the easier stretches on this course here with hole 12, 246-foot par 3 uphill. It's definitely a must get. There's plenty of room to get up there.
This hole played as the third easiest hole on this course, and as long as you can get past those 4 guardian trees right there, and you can see the Hyzer route taken, you'll have a pretty good clean shot. And Chris goes up there and puts it right next to the pin. That's beautiful.
I'd say here, just like you can stand on the tee and you can see the pin straight ahead, and you just don't want to be a sucker for that straight shot. You throw it out like these players are, and you can see where that Hyzer route gets you right up underneath it.
Ron follows Chris right up there. Let's see. Let's watch Mike and see how he goes. Again with the Hyzer.
And
another park job. Man, these guys treating this hole like it's his stepchild.
I feel like we just watched 3 replays of the same drive.
They knew who was who.
Well, sometimes, I'll be honest with you, when you're the 4th person on the card and you got 3 people parking a hole, what Robert did there, also parking the hole, that's something special, because that takes a lot.
Yeah. It's nice to see that doesn't look like Ron's got a big putt anybody here. I know they were all joking about who wants credit for the longest putt on this hole. Oh, there we go. That's hole 12 at Little Mare.
The star frame it is.
Making it look easy, yeah. All right, hole 13, 620-foot par 4. Again, like the distance and the openness, it's probably one of the easier par fours in the tournament. You need to get something out there and just avoid any early trees, one of the first availables, and so the green's open enough that you can get to it.
So if you end up hyzering on this hole, you can be up on top of the hill throwing down toward it. So let's see what these guys do. It looks like that's the route. He took straight hyzer route at it. So he's going to be having a little bit more level ground going toward it instead of going downhill. But Chris had a great shot on that. This hole does play as the second easiest hole in the course. So you get the first hole, easiest hole is 14, this one's 13, and then 12, of course, was the last one they just played as the easiest, as the third easiest hole.
Ron's drive there, listening to him wave goodbye to it, it looked like he got up in a jet stream. That thing took off way up in the air, way left.
He will be up on top of that hill looking down at it, so he still has an opportunity to get up and down for the birdie if he can find it. Yeah. Mike takes a little flex shot at this, comes up nicely. He's pretty close to where Chris is, so he's gonna have a nice look at it as well. That looks pretty much a duplicate of some of the other shots, Chris, and wow, he gets a little bit more fade on that, and we'll see. He may be the closest one of them all there. You see Ron's up on top of the hill. You can see the flag there to the right, man, and he's gonna be able to just pump out a hyzer and be able to.
Having to go to a standstill, probably the boulders or something in the way, but it doesn't matter for him. He puts that one definitely within his distance for sure.
He puts it really nice and close, so this distance is no trouble for these guys. Robert, man, that looks like a pure shot there. Another close one. All right, let's get Chris up there and then have all these guys putting.
Chris was the longest drive.
Chris did have the longest drive, man. And a simple little hyzer up shot. Floats a little bit long, but he's still inside serving, so. See, the wind isn't too bad, but it is kind of swirling. I think that contributed to that miss there off the bogey band. Chris is lining up his shot here, really focusing because he's got an unusual stance with that tree. Bam!
Almost had the short arm in it.
Beautiful putt.
Keep from hitting their arm or elbow.
Goes in. I know these guys got 3 out of 4. Looks like they got a couple tap-ins here. Mike's going to take his time, make sure he gets this. So beautiful. Ron's looking at this as a missed opportunity. I know that, and I know he wanted this one.
Players that go up the hill now to hole 14, staying out in the open. So 341-foot par 3, as you said earlier, playing as the easiest hole on the course, and the last 4 holes in a row being some of the easiest ones.
Now, I'm a little surprised this one actually plays the easiest, simply because there are a lot of discs that get hung up. If you go the forehand route, that's a beautiful shot. You can see Chris is right next to the target. Okay, but if you go this hyzer route, you still have to navigate some of these trees here. So let's see how Mike does with this. He's coming in right at the target. Didn't quite see where it landed there, but it looks like he's going to be putting at it pretty close.
Robert going straight at it.
That's the kind of unusual play, going straight at it. There is some things there that he can get hung up on. Comes up a little bit short, it appears. Ron's focusing, you can see him kind of figuring out what the wind is doing here, and he also takes a straight approach to it. Oh man, he gets caught by the tree.
You almost need something that's going to, the turn is that tree that he did catch is right in line with the basket. Just a little too far right, and almost throws it in on his second shot.
Thank you.
I think one of the reasons why this hole plays the easiest on the course isn't so much as you have so many birdies, it is that you just don't have a lot of trouble to get bogeys.
Yeah, if you do catch something early, you're still probably within 100 feet of it in all directions. If you hit a tree coming into it, and guys can give some of those runs and pars. A huge putt by Mike too, and that'll keep the overall scores of this hole down when somebody's making big putts like that. And Chris, I don't think Chris has had a putt outside circle one in quite some time now.
Yeah, this whole play that had 38% birdies and only 3% on the bogey trail. So well done by the entire MP50 division to only have 3% of all the players get a bogey on this.
Hole 15, 375-foot par 3. Just a little bit longer than the last hole, playing right at par. And really, this hole, you have to go wider, as Chris is showing us. Those guardian trees are a little bit further down the fairway. It's good course design. Something that me and Ron were talking about while we were out there on this course is that the basket's just straight ahead and it's right there, but they use the trees really well. There's only really one shot that you want to take at this basket, and that is left of everything.
Now there is a route. If you look at it, there is a route going straight down the middle. You have to miss some trees, but you do shorten the length of it a little bit, and that could be helpful.
Robert will show us that route, as he's been doing all around.
Looks like he gets up there for a putt.
Oh, that one held the turn just long enough too. And
yeah, he's well within his circle. He's gonna be pretty pleased with that. He got a little downhill putt at it. Has a nice opportunity to get a throw back here. You see Robert has this pine he has to deal with to the right, but he's got to look at this, so he's firing it up. Comes up just short, but again, he's close, so that he's going to be fine. Chris lines up. You can see that wind flapping around a little bit straight in his face, and man, does he nail that.
What a headwind.
Yeah, it was a beautiful putt. That's impressive.
5 birdies in a row now for Chris Smith. He took the back-to-back bogeys on the front side, battled back to 1 under through the front 9, and now he's on a birdie train. He's got 5 of the last 6, and Ron with a nice birdie too. Great drive on this long par 3.
You'd expect Moser just comes up there and just finishes up. Treats his 18-footers like tap-ins. We love that. Robert does the same, and now we're off to hole 16.
These guys are flying through this course. Hole 16, 599 feet, par 4. Downhill from the tee. It's something with that tree right around where we're at with the drone now, where they're going to look at landing, but there's a lot of stuff in the way that can give you an awkward stance, awkward footing as you try to line up an approach shot here.
599 downhill is reachable in some situations, but The key on this one is keeping a clean off the tee so you can have that second shot opportunity. It's a fairly easy
Power forehand, got to get around it.
You know,
When you got to turn the cameraman around.
wow, what a distance on that. That was beautiful.
Don't get distracted by the view either.
Oh, that view back, those mountains back there is just incredible.
Ron high off the tee, out to the left, just Hyzer and out.
He still has a look, though. I mean, as long as you're down there about 300, 340 feet, you're going to have a pretty decent approach to this green.
Yeah, as long as you can avoid the trees here, as wide open as this hole is, and you get that distance down there.
Look
That's
at that.
turning.
Oh, it just clips the tree, kicks him right a little bit.
Still got down there a long way.
So he's down there quite a ways. We'll love to see that thing finish out. Robert takes a straighter approach to it. He does do a late turn, a huge flex, gets down, uses the hill. So he's got a possible look and making a run at an eagle here. Ron just floats a little bit past it. There's a log there that stops the discs.
Kind of a misfire by Robert there. He threw a little too wide and too much of a hyzer, and that's going to take him down circle's edge, or if not outside of it.
He's a great putter, so he still has an opportunity to hit that birdie putt. Chris able to follow up and just get one close.
So Mike had a throw that was a little bit shorter than Chris's. Chris did have the longest throw, but Mike went so quick I couldn't catch him with the camera.
Oh, that's
But we can see where his second throw landed right here. These guys were so spread out on this hole. It's so wide open. That was one thing I was wondering if the players thought that that there could be some OB put out here to shape some of these shots more instead of just throwing it as hard and far as you want. Adding a little bit more difficulty to these holes.
You still have to throw a decent amount of distance on these, and these guys they're not letting up on their putts, so when they miss, they got a little bit of work to do, as Mike here does, and we'll see how that works out for him. Again, no problems with that one. Beautiful, watch those putts go in. Robert's now up, looks like, and Chris still hasn't thrown his third shot yet, has he?
No, Ron was in for birdie. Mike and Robert here this is Robert for par. And then, Chris is still waiting to get his birdie, but.
Wow.
And when you're that close, you're always be the last one to putt.
True.
On these big holes like that.
So you got Ron and Chris with birdies. Ron,
six down for Chris.
6 down for Chris.
Hole 17, really well protected hole, our basket with the rock mound and the tree there in front of it.
Yeah, that bushy tree really protects this. So a lot of players are trying to go angles at this. And the best possible opportunity would be a forehand to come around and have an opportunity at. But
he hits right where that tree's at. He's in those rocks right in front of us. He has to contend with it for sure.
Looks like Ron's lining up for an Anheuser shot at it. He floats a little higher than he wants to, I guess, and shows a little frustration there. Again, looks like Mike is lining up for the Anheuser. Get a little bunny hop. Oh, nice fluid shots.
Turn it early.
A little bit early. May have a look at it from the right side, at least for the approach on it. Who knows? Maybe we can putt over that.
Robert got it out wide enough now, and he has the height on it. That tree might have helped him out. Oh, almost goes in. That's good.
Puts it right there early, close on circle one, so excited for him to be able to get up on that one.
Ron with the easy up, and Chris just turned it over a little early. Still got down the hill, and I'd like to think that he's running that one.
Sure did.
Yeah, he did.
Just came up just shy of it.
So with the great drive by Chris,
It's like he's got to float it
Terrible
over
landing.
it. So he's got to float it over this and getting it down. That's one of the hardest shots in disc golf, is be able to do a teardrop into a target because you're coming from straight up and down, basically.
and there's Robert now getting his birdie.
All right, Robert's he's got to be pretty excited about this point in time. You know,
He hit right on 3 in a row there towards the middle of the back nine.
wasn't real happy with his overall scores so far, but so getting a birdie there is kind of helpful. Man, I love the fact that Ron just goes up there and squares up, takes his time, and you know,
Chris par, his first par since
yeah.
the 10th hole. Hole 18, finishing hole, 1,093 feet, par 5. And this is a hole where I was kind of hitting that back on 16, where I think that players could benefit with maybe a little bit more OB to keep it inside. Because you get too far left or right, and it's just not even enjoyable. And
See, this is where I disagree with you. The whole plays 5.67. So it plays the hardest on this course. And it is 1,093 feet. We do have OB to the right, and I've seen several players go to the right
yeah,
and go out of bounds. So, you know, I disagree with you just a little bit on this one, Steve, but let's see how these players do this one. One of the key elements on this one is you want to get as far right as you can off the tee, but you have so many trees you have to deal with. If you have to get as far right as you can see they're doing an Anheuser, trying to do a flex out. That one did not quite flex out, but he does have a very nice shot. He can actually see the target from there.
out in the open, nothing obstructing his potential run up.
Yeah. Except for maybe the footing. See what Chris does.
Getting over the road, huge drive there. He did land underneath that tree over there, but took off a lot of distance.
And if you can get lucky enough to land on that little path down there and it has some great footing, that would be the best case scenario. Again,
Ron with a huge drive too. This one's flexing.
this one's flexing out, and man, that's going to be helpful. It's going to get us some extra distance, and yeah, he gets that.
Mike going for the turnover, and it just nosed up and came way out early. He's gonna be way left of it. Tough spot to come in from over there.
He may have to pitch out to, knowing him, he's probably going to go up and over something, but some players would just pitch out.
He just caught a tree there right around the path and landed on the path.
Ron, back up for me. Thank you.
So yeah, Robert and Mike Moser are both team members for Innova. So I wonder how often they get to play together. One from California, one from Delaware. Now I'm sure.
Ron's in a great spot. Has a straight look at the pin from where he's standing. There's that little
He powers that one right
ramp to
through.
get through. Yeah, oh yeah, straight at it.
He's sitting pretty straight up
Yeah.
and down. You can see the flag way in the background on that. And
Mike throwing his third now, still just from the road.
he's got some really good footing there. So let's see what he can do.
Oh, he got through there. I thought it was a little low, and he sends it all the way across the fairway.
Does catch a tree there toward the end. So let's see if he's got anything blocked.
Chris with the longest drive, but really tough trying to get here. He's going to go down the right side of this hole now, throwing towards the OB road.
That comes into play. I mean, a little bit more than some players want it to, but again, it's a long hole. You can full send it if you want to, and
Mike's looking at the OB road too, hoping that skips around it, and he does there. So with how far apart these players are, Catch Cam couldn't get an angle on that one, but he's using every bit of this hole. Mike is.
little forehand action. Now, Chris just is his third throw right here.
Yeah, he still has to continue with the OB down the right. If he wants, yeah, he trying to avoid it, go left of that tree and gets caught up in it. Right around where Robert is.
Hit a tree.
Mike,
What a smooth shot that was. That was a beautiful upshot. I know he's been struggling a little bit on this hole, being all over the place, but man, what a clean shot that last one was.
so Ron was OB there.
Difficult shot from the aspect that you want to make a run at it because you're OB. You don't want to lose a throw to people, but unfortunately,
That's got to get down before that goes OB too. Tree saved it there. That was
tree saved him.
that was track.
You can see the OB is pretty close on the right side of this. Chris here is putting for the 4. Yep, putting for the 4. I think he ended up with the par on this. So that was a
Mike in for his bogey. He, like I said, he used every bit of that hole there. Ron, after going OB and his upshot here, this would be for a bogey as well.
Yeah, he had to take that penalty. He only threw 5 times, but you got to stay within the rules and stay in bounds. And unfortunately, he was not able to do that in this hole. But man, what a nice play that we've seen from both Ron and Chris. And Moser, I know didn't play as well as he wanted to for these 9, but neither did Bainbridge. But man, they are factors in this tournament.
Chris, with that par now, he bogey free through the back 9. He hasn't had a bogey since the 5th hole, carding 7 down for the round. Mike 3 down. Ron was the 6th down, staying right on his heels, and then Robert there 2 under. So he battled back there on the backside. Got a couple more birdies. So heading into round 3, here's our scores. Brian will be joining us again. Schwebe back on lead card, tied for 2nd with Ron. They're both 10 under, and then Mike Moser hanging around at 9 under, sitting just 5 strokes back of Chris.
Well, look at that. Sergio Celis shoots an even par the first round, shoots 8 down the second round. Man, he is on fire. He's just outside of that lead group. We'll see what he does over at Thorpe.